Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq. Not a lot going on. There's one good article, and it touches quickly on this man right here. Look at that smug smile. Maybe he has a reason to smile. Maybe we might have a reason to smile along with him. Al-Kadhimi's probably been in office, about 2 years? Remember, he was a fill-in for Mahdi, who resigned from prime minister. So he hasn't actually done a normal term of 4 years. I remember when Al-Kadhimi was talking to the people, he explained to them that if he became prime minister, he would investigate and look into who it was that authorized the shooting of unarmed protesters when the protesters rose up in October, I think it was in 2019. So whenever you talk to people, that's one of the promises that Al-Kadhimi did not keep, not by any fault of his own. And the reason for that is when he first got into office, he started to look into who it was that authorized the shooting of these protesters. And he opened up the corruption files. And if you guys remember, Al-Kadhimi's friend was killed. And many people believe it was to send a message to Al-Kadhimi. And I don't believe Al-Kadhimi had the same type of support like he does now with Sadr. Sadr wants to do the same thing, and that is hold those individuals accountable that are involved in corruption. And this is why you see the coordinating framework fight so hard to stop the kind of government that Sadr wants formed and to keep them from getting into the corruption files. So let's get into what's going on, because it looks like we might be done with this blockage. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Right now is a good time to buy the shine, as you guys know. Look, gold and silver are going down. We knew this was going to happen, but gold and silver still has not lost nowhere near the amount of value as other investments. They drop just like stocks and other investments when the market crashes. But remember, they don't drop very much and they recover quickly. So hang tight as we get through this crash, and you'll come out on the other side smiling. So when you go to buy your precious metals, give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. This is still one of my favorite pictures. I love this. Paid subscribers, look at them with torches and everything. And you got these dinar gurus that are out there. The numbers are on the back screen. People are standing by at the redemption centers. God put this date upon me. These are all the things that they say. We have the codes. The IQD is exchanging 1-to-1 in Iraq. Remember you guys were told all this stuff? Oh man, that was classic. Anyways, I ran into that again. I snagged it back up. All right, so here we go. Just the one article for today, but it is good news in my opinion anyways. So it says, Al-Jabari, the Independents will present Al-Kadhimi as a candidate for prime minister, and we believe he will pass. So yesterday or day before, we learned that Saleh is most likely going to be the presidential candidate, and Al-Kadhimi will be the prime minister. The same two people will continue to move forward for a full term. 4 years, barring any uprising. Those two, in such a short period of time, managed to work together to get a lot accomplished over there in Iraq. Remember, under the watches of Saleh and Al-Kadhimi together, Iraq has saw the largest economical growth it has ever experienced. In addition to that, Al-Kadhimi has done a great job of making sure ISIS has not reared back up. He's managed to keep the peace between all the different tribes and all the different factions within Iraq. He also went through and took care of the auction windows. Remember, there was a lot of corruption attached to these auctions. So he moved it from one location to another, put some strict rules on it, and has done a great job of eliminating most of the corruption dealing with the currency auctions. In addition to that, he helped install a lot of the new needed updated technology for the banking industry, as well as over there in the ports. Remember, once they put in the new software at the ports, they set records for fees and taxes collected in the ports. Al-Qademi also told everybody when he got into office, he had targeted somewhere around 2,000 senior employees that he wanted removed because he believed they were a big part of the corruption. And he did exactly that. So he's done a lot, and I'm sure there's a lot more, but I'm just trying to think of them off the top of my head. Once Al-Qademi's in office and Saleh's there with him and Sauter there, he's going to be able to open up those corruption files, and he's going to be able to go after those individuals who he believes might have ordered the killing of unarmed civilian protesters. You're going to see some heads roll for sure. So you can see right here, Al-Jabari, he is a representative of the Alliance to Save the Homeland. Well, he said in an interview on television that the independents have difficult choices and they do not want to run for an executive position. And this is a position that counts for them, as they will be keen to attend the presidential election session. So he is saying that, okay, before they didn't have enough people to form a quorum there in the parliament. But if they show up, then there will be enough people and they can get the candidates in that they want. Saleh and Al-Qademi. So that's what it appears he's saying in that paragraph. He says they will announce an initiative in which they will not tilt one political hand at the expense of the other. He suggested that the independent representatives will present a candidate for the new government. And I believe that he is the current Prime Minister Al-Qademi as the independent figure. And he is the most likely to be the candidate for the position. Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job. The only reason why the coordinating framework doesn't want to be dealing with him is because they don't want those corruption files open. But nobody can knock what it is that Al-Qademi's accomplished. The only promise that it seems that he has not been able to keep is to hold those people in higher authority responsible for this killing of protesters, which it looks like he might be able to do now. It says Iraq is experiencing a stifling political crisis described as a political blockage. As a result of differences between the forces winning parliamentary seats over the next prime minister and how to form the next government, and differences prevail amongst the Kurds over the presidential candidate. The leader of the Sadrs movement seeks to form a majority government that is rejected by the forces of the coordination framework, which demands a consensual government in which all political forces in parliament participate similar to the previous sessions. Well, there's been a problem with the previous governments. A lot of corruption, a lot of ass dragging and nothing getting accomplished. And so it looks like Sauter wants to change out of those patterns. So if Iraq can manage to get the President Saleh and the Prime Minister Al-Qademi back as President and Prime Minister, and they form the new government, they will continue to stay on track with the reform papers. We're going to see strong economical growth within Iraq as long as we don't have another magical outbreak of some type of virus that keeps everybody from going out in public. As long as nothing like that happens, or that for some strange reason there's a huge tumble in oil prices, so Iraq will be back on track. And if that's the case, I believe it won't take very long until we see the Iraqi Dinar exchange rate change. Again, it's going to go up in increments, but it's going to do it fairly quick, in my opinion, as long as they continue to do what they're doing. Get rid of the corruption and have the strong GDP. It can't just be relying on oil. Under Al-Qademi's watch, the private sector and public sector, the growth is larger than it's ever been. And now the financial advisor to Al-Qademi has made suggestions and given proposals to continue with several more projects that will help expand the private sector. That puts more people to work, less money from the government going out to those in need. That means they can put more of the money on even more projects, not to mention the increase in oil revenues. So Iraq is really in a great place. It really is. If they could just stay on that track. I think we'll see an increase in the exchange rate on behalf of the dinar start to happen here shortly. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Sounds like Saleh's going to be president and Al-Kadhimi the prime minister. And let's hope that whatever new government is formed will support Al-Kadhimi and they'll do whatever it takes to rebuild the infrastructure of Iraq, getting the people back to work and us getting to where we need to be, which is a stronger dinar. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.